Hello guys and gals, welcome back to the channel, and before we get on discussing the topic in this video, I'm gonna start off the video with a disclaimer. This is not medical advice, and also I am not an anti-vaxxer or anything, and I'm not an anti-masker, so if anyone thinking about commenting that just because of the title of the video, then no, I'm merely discussing some my personal reasons why I stopped, like what made me not trust the vaccine anymore. I was right about to get it when the mandate came in. That's what made me not want to get it. But this is merely if your doctor says you have a weak immune system, take medical advice. Don't take my advice. This is just for me personally. And the main reason is I feel like if I do it, I'm gonna be contributing to basically authoritarianism spreading out, because it's already getting worse. We all listen to the mask mandates, and I'm fine with mask mandates. I don't care if they keep that around forever. And whoever says that, oh, you're putting other people at risk by not getting vaccinated, no, I'm not, because I barely go outside ever, and when I do go outside, just to pick up stuff from the store, necessities and stuff, I friggin' wear a mask. It's like, that doesn't make sense. That's another thing. I don't agree with the mandates. It's just, I agree with the vaccine. It should be available, yeah. And no, I don't believe these crazy conspiracies that, oh, there's demonic particles or microchips and all that. I don't believe any of that. So, don't try to label me that. And YouTube, if you friggin' strike this video for me merely discussing my opinions on it, I'll show you. You have to strike Russell Brand and JP and all these channels with 4 million and 2 million subscribers. So if you're gonna strike my videos or anything for that, you should be striking those, because I'm not giving medical advice here. This is just for me. Mainly the reason is, and another reason is, I got a very strong immune system. Like, if I caught the virus, it would stay in my body for 3 days max before my body fights it off. Like, I know I got a strong immune system. And I prefer natural immunity anyway, because the numbers, like, it's 30 some percent effective, and vaccine, it's a lower percentage. And I'm not saying it's not effective, it's just lower percentage. And people have already been told that they can still catch it. Now they're making people wear masks and have the thing. So what the hell is it for? That's my question. What is it for? And I don't think it's any microchip thing or anything like that. I think this is just, in my opinion, it's merely about money. It's not that they're trying to take out any population or anything. It's just merely because they probably got investments in stocks for the vaccine, because for some reason that is a stock you can purchase on the friggin' stock trading websites. You can buy stocks in Pfizer and all the vaccine things. I just think it's merely like, there is some bad side effects, and for some reason, anyone doctor who comes out saying any of the side effects, they get fired, they get shut off of social media. Like, it's crazy. For merely just telling the scientific facts about it. Not for spreading misinformation, nothing like that. That's what everyone automatically assumes for some reason now. They just assume that and they don't actually look into it. Like, yeah, there has been some doctors fired for good reasons that are talking bad about the vaccine, obviously, but just because, like, you can't say, oh, um, um, uh, you can't say that, your point is invalid because that person agreed with it. Like, not everyone who doesn't agree with it, like, they make everyone who doesn't agree with the vaccine, even like despite them being very safe with it and all that, and and not trying to spread it and everything, being very respectful. And despite that, they friggin' still attack people for it. They're like, oh yeah, you're putting us all in danger. Yeah, I agree. There is some people who are doing that, but like, that's the bad thing. And I like whoever friggin' is making up those microchip rumors and the market and some religious channels saying that the vaccine's the mark of the beast. You do realize by doing this, you are making everyone who disagrees with it look crazy and basically totally making it so that people can just walk over anybody. So if your goal is to make sure people uh, get the and don't get the vaccine, guess what? You're doing the opposite of that when you spread messages like that. It's not scaring anybody to not get it. It's actually scaring people to get it because they're like, oh, I'm going to get it just so I'm not associated with you friggin' nut jobs. Like, they're obviously going to do that. They're going to get the vaccine just so they're not associated with them. But I believe if it all depends on what your medical doctor says. Take that advice. Don't take advice like online and stuff or whatever. Like, yeah, there is some side effects that are valid online that for some reason doctors in these countries anyway, can't, particularly Canada and the US, aren't speaking up about, because if they do, for some reason they get fired. And the only the countries that don't have the mandates and aren't shutting down any doctor who speaks out about the side effects, there is a couple countries that aren't going along with this, and those countries are saying, doctors are saying some of the side effects discovered, and they get totally disvalidated. Like, it's not right. Like, the doctor who discovered this new variant in South Africa is like, literally, they said it's more contagious, but it's not more like deadly or anything. It hasn't gotten more deadly or anything like that. They just said it's nothing to worry about. It's just a little bit more contagious. And guess what? They totally disregard what that doctor said who discovered it, and basically made up their own thing saying, oh yeah, it is very worrying and way more deadly, even though the doctor who discovered it literally said the opposite of that. Like, that's frig, man. The doctor who discovered it. Like, trust Fauci. Like, how can anyone trust him at this point, especially with all the stuff that's come up about him, about the puppy experiments and everything like that? Like, frig. You're gonna trust that guy to help you with a friggin' pandemic? If you want to make the pandemic worse, then yeah, hire him. But if you're trying to actually fix it, fire that guy. Yeah, he's the one who funded the creation. And for some reason, that was getting labeled as friggin' fake news and all that. The lab thing. And guess what? It wasn't a theory, it was real. They tested all the animals at the wet market. It didn't come from there. But people are still believing into this facade, and Fauci never changed his statement. He still says that it never came from a lab, it came from an animal, which has been proven to be false. But somehow he is the main doctor in charge of all that. But these doctors, like even doctors from South Africa, are frigging more smarter than the ones. This was a doctor in South Africa that found that variant. But the main reason, like, I'm not worried about like it doing anything to me, the vaccine. It's mainly because I do not want to contribute to it, because when you give in to their demands, it's not going to stop with just that. You give in to that demand, and then it's going to be all good after that. No. And why do you think they want a passport, huh? So they can identify everyone. Like places where you shouldn't even have to show identification. Like people have only had to show identification, like for, like, say, to get into bars or gamble or buy alcohol or cigarettes or marijuana. That's the only thing people usually would have to show ID for. But now people, like, first of all, if Canada does go through with the mandate, they should not be requiring a passport for every single store. Like things like eating in, yeah, because it wouldn't be that difficult. But if you're gonna require someone to show a passport who's just merely going in to buy stuff and leave, then you're gonna have a problem. Not like the thing with clogging up lines. That's the thing. You're gonna have a big problem with lines clogging up in stores, and they're not gonna be able to handle it. Because imagine how long that's gonna take for every person to show their damn passport ID thing to go in the store. Imagine how big the lines are gonna build up to, with people not being able to freely flow through the store. Like, no. Like, that's a terrible thing. And another thing is, they definitely shouldn't be asking it on buses unless it's crossing a province. If they literally require it, someone to show it for every like just traveling from a city or something and not leaving the province, you're just going to a different city in New Brunswick. I don't think they should be requiring passports for that unless you're leaving the province. That's if they decide to go through with it, which they really shouldn't, because it's going to cause less people to get vaccinated. That's the thing, and it's going to cause more people to quit their jobs. They shouldn't be requiring it on jobs either, because, like, it could cause major crime outbreak and everything. These are just my opinions about it. And I want you to let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And, like, yeah, I got a mask right here. It's a really good one too. I guess got it for like $4 at the dollar store. I'm fine with that, and I actually like it more that fast food workers are wearing masks now, because friggin' I remember before, like, I would get food poisoning once in a while from restaurants like Burger King and McDonald's. Now it's never happened. It's never happened all for the whole time they've had the mask mandate there, which I like that, because I think it's better. Like, I think cooks should, honestly, I think people who cook fast food and stuff should have been required to wear a mask regardless before even the pandemic, because that's why how food poisoning happens a lot. When they get a mask, there's not going to be saliva or snot getting dropped on your food, So I actually like the mask mandate thing. That isn't bad. Like, see, it's very comfortable. And it's an easily breathable one too. Doesn't like it, the heat doesn't build up in there. Like, all of them are breathable, but I mean, like, with the heat wise, I mean, like, this one actually, the heat can doesn't build up. Your face doesn't get hot or anything. So yeah, that's just my opinion on it. Let me know in the comments below anyway. And yeah, um, honestly, just take the doctor's medical advice. Find out how good your immune system is. If you like, but one thing I don't agree with is why the hell are they giving it to little kids now? Like, think with any just with vaccines in history anyway. With let's just say one for swine flu, for example. That one, the ages didn't change. They stayed the same for the vaccine. It was like you could get it at a young age and stuff at a certain age. Like, I think it was like 10 or something, and it stayed that way. But now they're just trying to lower the age as low as possible. Like, that's not good. Like, people can't like label people as anti-vaxxers and stuff because they're not ignoring history like everyone else seems to be for some reason. Like, if you look in history, this doesn't look good. Like, think and all these news stations being sponsored by the vaccines, that's friggin' like, what did the cigarette companies do? They the people who researched the effects were funded by the tobacco industry. What's apparently going on with the FDA? Their funding comes from 70% or so of from the companies that they're regulating. That's quite a, like, just look back at what tobacco did when cigarettes, before they were labeled to cause cancer as they should have been. They were frigging had research facilities that were saying, oh yeah, we done research, it doesn't cause cancer, but the research was funded by the tobacco companies, and they end up shutting down that research thing. So they need to get their act together, and they should stop the funding from that. Like, it's eventually probably going to happen. The same thing as they did with the tobacco companies. It's going to be a whole friggin' trial shit show, I think. Like, even though there is probably a lot more side effects that haven't been figured out yet. Like, just look it up for yourself. Some of the side effects. The friggin' like, a lot of them haven't been discovered. But my plan anyway, I'm just gonna stay isolated for at least a couple years and try to avoid the vaccine as much as possible for at least 2 years. And if there's no side effects and stuff reported that are major anyway, then I'll definitely get the vaccine. If after 2 years is nothing discovered, I definitely won't be uncomfortable getting it. But yeah, that's about it anyway. Just wanted to share my opinion about that. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at DeAngelJohn1, TikTok at DeAngelPitcher420, and DeAngelPitcher just on Facebook. And also, if you feel like supporting the channel any further, merch and donation button, all that is linked in the description below. Till next time, it's D'Angelo Pitcher, and I am peacing